Hello everybody, tonight we have the 21st Berlin Real Estate Talk. Today our expert is my business partner and director of Black Label Properties, Mr. Andreas Müller. Hello Andreas.
Hello.
So today we are talking about the Berlin property prices, the future outlook, what has happened in the last 6 months, 12 months, and how do we see the growth potential here in the city of Berlin, how you can use our website better, how you can do your own valuation on our website, and how to use our property price maps, which are brand new. Our expert today is Andreas, hi, and he's the director of the company, and of course my English is a bit better than his, so I will respond to most of your questions. First of all, I would like to show you our website where you can find further information and where you can, if you have a specific question regarding a property, we do a proper valuation for you. So you have our website. There you can fill out our form, our online valuation form. So when you own a property or you want to buy a property, you just want to check you're paying the right price, you can work with that. And if you now change to the price hubble, exactly, you fill that out, then we get an email. You of course get an email, and you will get one of our agents will contact you. It's going to be Mr. Müller or myself or one of our agents. And then you will get an interactive tool, and you can now see it here on the screen where we can see the prices. There's a big difference, of course, between an existing property, so a property that has been built before 2014 and one that has been built later after 2014 because of the rent cap, the rent ceiling. I'm sure you're aware of that. If not, please watch one of our videos regarding the rent ceiling. So this one, for instance, is our address, a 70 square meter apartment. This is just the assumption we made. Of course, our office is a bit larger. So 70 square meter in Reichsstraße 12, which is in Berlin-Charlottenburg, West End, which is a very nice residential area, built in 2020. And you can see now the average asking price is 5,700 euros per square meter. So we're talking here about 370 up to 434. You also have an interactive map from us, so we'll send you that link and you can play around with this. You can change the assumptions and then you can play around. You can see what happens if you change the year of build. And so all the assumptions are the same. You just have changed the year of build. You can see you're losing around 700 euros a square meter, which is of course a significant amount of money. There are also these so-called purchase maps, just to give you an idea. So this is the over and underground map of Berlin. We have done that with our software, the evaluation software. We have divided between the Altbau, so the old buildings, and the new builds. And you can see the purchase price per square meter. Here in Germany, in Berlin, we do it all by square meter. And tube or underground and overground station. We haven't taken in the buses, just the public transport itself, the rail lines as well, and you can see the different prices. So that's something you can check. It's on our website. You will also, if you want, you can get these maps, these purchase maps. We also have that on the rental side as well from us. If you just contact us after the chat or leave a message here in the chat in the webinar, we can send you the email. Regarding the prices per area, I think we've covered that in detail today in German. So just to give you a brief overview, we are working, of course, with other valuation tools as well. Not only Price Hubble, for instance, we use the research of CBR Richard Ellis. I'm sure a lot of listeners or spectators today are aware of that. And we have given you just the top list of the latest CBR Richard Ellis report, which has been done in the year 2020. The most expensive area in Berlin to buy is around 10,000 euros a square meter, nearly 11,000, so it's 10,700 euros a square meter in Berlin Mitte. Just followed by Charlottenburg, which is 10,100 euros a square meter, and then you already have Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg, which is 8,800, so that's already a big gap between the most expensive areas and then the second. Interesting, if you look on this rank, the rental income. So the rental income is the highest rent, of course, you pay in Berlin Mitte, which is 22 euros a square meter, followed by Charlottenburg, Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg, which is 22. So Mitte is 23 and Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg is 22. But Charlottenburg-Wilmersdorf is 21. So it's cheaper to rent in Charlottenburg than in Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg. And then you can see different surprises. So for instance, which is a very booming area is the southeast of Berlin, which is everything next to the new airport. This is where you live in Köpenick.
Yep.
So it's a very nice district because you have a lot of rivers, lakes and water, a lot of forest. You have the Tesla Gigafactory, you have Adlershof, the big science park, and you have the Rolls-Royce manufacturing, which is also next to that area. So that's a very good area to have a look at. So the southeast of Berlin is, yeah, a lot of demand. Of course, Andreas and me, we publish all the time reports. And if you scroll down, our investment analyst, his name is Evgeny, has done a great research in the year 2019, where we were giving you a couple of assumptions. And a big topic is, of course, do we have a price bubble or not? I think you can read that in the media. Andreas, what do you think about the price bubble?
You need from the price bubble?
Price bubble.
A price bubble. Oh, yeah. I don't think we have a price bubble in Berlin. We have normal prices in this time. We started before 10 years from a very low level in Berlin compared to other big cities in Europe. And now I think we have normal prices compared to other cities.
We did today regarding the price bubble, we did of course some, I mean you can check our old reports 2019 and 2018 and so on. So Andreas and me have always been too pessimistic. Yeah. So we all think the prices aren't increasing that much, which isn't great for us, of course, as an agent. We always should say price will go up, but we try to be realistic and conservative because we have to be balanced in our valuations, of course. Andreas is also a surveyor, and of course we give realistic market prices. But just to make sure you understand what it means to have a price bubble. So topic one is we have more supply than demand, and you can trust in the Berlin Senate and the politicians. We will not have more supply because they're just not very great in managing the city when it comes to the housing shortage.
Yeah, because the price bubble, I have the first question from our listener. In the last 10 years, we have seen a rapid increase in property prices in Berlin. What do you think, Avim? The party is over?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the rent prices, I have to say I don't see the rents increasing as much as they have in the past. The main reason for that is that the people simply don't earn enough money. So I'm not saying the party is over, but the realistic rent increases even before the government has intervened and invented the rent ceiling and all the other stuff, the prices haven't gone up as much as they did before. However, I think I already gave you the average rents for the new builds, because on the existing apartments it's very difficult to find a tenant who's paying the market rent, or vice versa if paying a landlord. So we're looking here anything, I mean the cheapest rent is around 13 euros per square meter in Marzahn-Hellersdorf, and the most expensive is 23 euros in Berlin-Mitte. So if you look on historic rents in Berlin, it has changed a lot. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. The next question is, how do prices differ between old and new buildings?
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between, especially if you have a tenanted apartment that you want to purchase. It always has to make sense for you if you want to buy it, so the yield should be positive. At least it should be enough to pay the mortgage in the bank. So there is a difference. It can be up to 40% difference in the price, especially when you buy a tenanted apartment where the tenant is protected for more than 10 years, which of course the broker will tell you up front. So then you cannot claim self-usage if that's the topic. But it also, the agent will always tell you if you can claim self-usage. I have a few more topics, Andreas. So regarding the price bubble, we have supply demand. The next big topic is of course immigration to Berlin. We have a lot of people who are coming to Germany, even during the Corona pandemic. We have been state stable. People are leaving Berlin, but it's very, very minor. And if you compare that to the other places in Europe, Berlin is very, very good. We still have a vacancy rate of less than 1%, which means that, yeah, there's no apartment to rent really. So this is the second point if you're looking on the price bubble. And then we of course have the third, where are my notes? Here you go. The third point, which is the interest will go up. So at the moment we have negative interests.
Yep.
And for you as a private person who wants to borrow against a property, you would pay anything between 0.5 and 1.5% interest if you're a German taxpayer. If you're not, you would pay anything between 2.5% and 3.5% interest, and you need a higher deposit as well. So, but we don't see the interest rising in the next couple of years because of the corona pandemic. And the fourth point is the people prefer to rent rather than to buy, which actually is completely the opposite. All the people are actually wanting to buy here in Berlin. The big problem is they don't find a property, and if they find one, they can't afford it because their income isn't good enough. And for them, because they have been paying rents for decades in Berlin, we have more than 75% Berliners are still tenants, they haven't saved money to buy a property. So the mindsets are now changing, and more people are now being educated, like our international people who, I think if they grow up, I think in any other European capital, everyone wants to buy. So except Berlin, now it's changing, and of course Berliners are a bit taken apart by the prices. Yeah, so that's a big topic.
Thank you. The next question is, which apartment types are most looked for?
So the most sought after apartments are the one bed and the micro apartments, so the small apartments.
For investors or for?
No, both. So
yeah,
we have
both.
Investors and people who want to live there themselves because you can afford them, and they're usually in a good area. And so we have anything between 25 to 35 square meters. That's, I think, the property people want to buy, and there's something you can pay with a normal salary. The other end of the scale are the larger apartments, so everything with the 3, 4, 5, 6 bedroom apartments, or room apartments as we say in Germany, are very sought after because people have a family, they have kids.
Yeah, for family.
Yeah, but usually they don't live in the inner circle because the purchase price is too high, so they go more to the suburbs, the more residential areas.
Yeah. How does Black Label Properties determine the purchase price?
Yes, I think we have shown it to you already today on Price Hubble. So this is one of our tools, and I think you are the surveyor, so you work with LoRa and Sprengnetter, which are German tools, also used by the lenders themselves if they want to estimate the purchase price. Of course, we have the loan-to-value ratio, which is in Germany usually 80% of the purchase price you can borrow against the property, and you should come up with 20% deposit. And if you have a good German income, then you can get up to 100% mortgage, even more than 100%. But of course, the interest rate will go up, so you might have to pay a higher interest than if you have a higher deposit.
Okay, thank you. The next one is, if the Mietendeckel stays, what will be happen to the prices?
Yeah, this is a very good question. I think all our clients are asking this question. So we have a topic on our website, which the lawyers are giving you some estimates on the legal impacts, on the pricing impacts. I think if the rental cap will stay, a lot of landlords will sell. I think they're now sitting and waiting what happens to the decision. So we're expecting the decision in summer. So there will be more people selling, and also more people who will cancel the lease with the tenants, because there's an option in the German public law that you can take the tenant to court if the law has changed and you have made a rental contract with the tenant, and then the law came in and said, okay, you're not allowed to do that rental contract. You of course can break the lease and then sell the apartment vacant, which is, I think, a lot of people, a lot of landlords will do that. So there will be a lot of, we call that blood in the water, because I don't think it's going to be a great time. However, there will be more apartments to buy, but all of these apartments, of course, will not be cheap, because the landlords either have paid a premium to the tenant to leave, or they have to pay the lawyers. And for you, as someone who wants to buy, you want to live in that apartment, you either have to take on the court case, you have to claim self-usage, but again, you have to wait. It's not a property you can move in straight away, so you need some time. Yeah, but property prices, we don't see them going down at all because of the rent cap. I think it will even have even more inflation impact on the prices. If the rent ceiling will stay, the prices for new builds will even go up higher. Yeah.
Thank you. When are the prices of real estate in Berlin stops to grow exponentially?
Yeah, so the growth rates, I think we already can see a slow in growth rates, but I have to say we are coming from a very high level. I think the growth rate will even go up once we have overcome the pandemic, because now we don't have that many international people in the city, so there will be more and more people flying to Berlin, especially when the airport's open again, when people don't have to go into quarantine. I think from summer onwards and September onwards this year, there will be more international people back to the market who are flying in and are buying properties here. So this will, of course, again, inflate prices, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that because you'll never know what's happening in the market. But from a logical perspective, the price growth we had, especially during the pandemic, has been fueled by Germans, people who actually have realized, oh, my home is quite important because I have to spend a lot of time there. So they have decided to buy a better place, and so that was a big one. And now the international people who can see that the German economy has stayed stable during the crisis, well, compared to other economies, of course, we have been quite well off. Not everyone, many people have a lot of problems. When we come to the retail sector, I think we see a lot of problems there. When we look on the residential side, and this is our topic today, we only see positives at the moment.
Okay, thank you. The next one is, how much do flats cost in the suburbs?
Yes, so it's a good question. So in the suburbs, it depends what you mean with suburbs. So we have the so-called Berliner Ring, which is the circle line, if you say to London, if you compare that to London. So of course, only 30% of Berliners live within the circle line. And so they pay premium for that. They usually have smaller apartments, but they don't have to commute that much, which is a big advantage. However, a lot of Berliners have realized during the corona pandemic, if you can't use the city because everything is locked down, why should you spend a fortune? Because you anyway have home office. So you see a lot of people moving out of the city, going to the suburbs, which has fueled the prices in the suburbs. So prices in the suburbs are now anything between 4,500 per square meters, which is the lower end for a new build, up to 5,500, 6,500 euros. For instance, Potsdam is the capital city of the province of Brandenburg. Is really expensive now. It's 6,000 per square meter, up to 8 or even 10,000 per square meter, which is even more expensive to many places in Berlin. Yeah. Where I live in the province of Havelland, or in the suburb of Havelland, it's a bit outside the city west of Berlin. We're looking at 4,500 to 5,000 per square meter new build. A couple of years ago, they have been 3,500, so we had nearly 40% price increase in the last couple of years. So if you only look on the price increase ratio, which I think Andreas and me have advised many of our investors in the past decade that it would be worthwhile investing not in the city center, in the suburbs. I think in the last couple of years, the growth rate in the suburbs have been much, much higher than actually the city center of Berlin. Yeah, because they came from a much lower end. Same, by the way, with Leipzig. So for all the investors out there looking at Leipzig, this is a very hot city to look out for.
Okay, here a special question for Prenzlauer Berg. Do you think Prenzlauer Berg will remain an area with some of the highest prices in Berlin?
Yes, I mean, I think I've given you the overview. So Prenzlauer Berg, I think, is, when we look on the price range, is on, let me check, Prenzlauer Berg, which is within the area of Pankow, is on spot number 5 out of the 12 districts in Berlin. So it's sort of average, but of course in Prenzlauer Berg, it's a big part is Pankow. It's just a small part of Pankow is Prenzlauer Berg. So there, I think Prenzlauer Berg, you're looking anything above 8,500 euros a square meter. And I have to say, yes, it will always be expensive. But if you compare it, for instance, to Mitte, which is nearly 3,000 euros more than Prenzlauer Berg, or Charlottenburg, which is 2,000 euros more than Prenzlauer Berg, again, not everywhere in Charlottenburg and Wilmersdorf, then Prenzlauer Berg is not that expensive at the moment. So there's a lot of room of price growth. Yeah. There's a question in the chat. From
the live chat, yes. What are up and coming neighborhoods for investment living? Did you understand correctly that you said Köpenick?
Yes, Köpenick, Treptow-Köpenick, which is a district southeast of Berlin. So if you look on the maps, you can find our maps online. I'll show it to you. You can see that. It's southwest of Berlin, southeast of Berlin. So that's the right area you can invest. The reasons why are the manufacturing industry, which is Tesla, is the Rolls-Royce, where they do the turbines, which is also in the southeast. It's the Science City, which is Adlershof. I'm sure you have read about it. And of course, it's the new airport that has opened. So there are a lot of reasons to buy in the southeast of Berlin, and it's comparably cheap. If you look on the pricing, the southeast already has went up in the price in the last 2 years. So we are still in the right time to buy there because we see pricing in the southeast of Berlin close to Prenzlauer Berg in the next couple of years. Yeah.
Okay, we come to the last question. Are most buyers investors are people buy for themselves? What is the ratio? How is it expected to change?
Yes, so that's a good one. I think during the pandemic we had less investors. More people, especially Germans, have bought. More Berliners have bought, which is great. And more tenants have bought their own place, which is something Andreas and me are trying to convince all the time the tenants to buy their own place. Of course, if they can afford it, we're here to help people to buy. So we have our mortgage partner, Mr. Martin Bonnet, who's helping people to raise finance, etc., especially international people. He's an expert on that. So we have seen more and more people buying their own place and even are ready to make a compromise. And before, I would say a couple of years ago, everyone wanted to have the perfect place, and they actually haven't stepped into the property ladder and made a compromise and said, okay, this might be not the perfect apartment, I'm gonna live until I die. They just have waited for the best time to buy, which was wrong, because the property prices have increased so much in the last couple of years that they actually have lost so much money because they have not purchased the property. And that's something Andreas and me have tried to convince many people, and we are both here as the directors of Black Label more conservative. Other agents have given you crazy forecasts on how property prices will go up. We are more on the conservative end. We don't think property prices will go up forever. We just know that property prices can't go down. And I think Andreas has made a nice calculation today on how much property was worth in Berlin in the year 1995 and how much the property prices is today. Maybe you want to explain that calculation a little bit?
The last calculation from...
Your calculation with the 2,000 euros? D-Mark?
Yes, we start in 1995 with prices from 2,000 German marks per square meter, and we have...
so just to quickly, 2,000 German marks in 1995
yeah, this is 1,000 euro
approximately
about this, and we have 6% there, and the costs were 60 euros per annum. And now in 2000...
The interest rates, right? If you have 6% interest?
Interest, yes.
Yep, the interest rate was 60 euros
in 2021, we have changed to 6,000 euro per square meter, but we have 1%. And we look, this is the same price. We have also 60 euros in 2021 to 1995. And we can see we have not so much different between this 30 years.
Yeah, so again, interest rate is a big topic, and it's not the only topic, but it's a big one, and it also means that the purchase power of people have stayed the same between 1995 and today. And I think this is a very big one. So if you look on purchase prices in the future, I don't think interest rates can go down any further, but I think we both have said that since years, because we couldn't imagine that interest rate will ever be less than 1%.
Yeah.
But like, we don't know. The big question is, do interest rates go up? None of us sees interest rates going up during the corona pandemic and even after, because we're going to have a big economic crisis in Europe, and we don't see interest rates going up at the moment. Again, we don't know, it's pure speculation, but as long as interest rates are not going up significantly more, then prices will continue to rise, I think. Yeah.
Okay, that's all for today.
We have any further questions? If not, yeah, just let you know, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. I think we have shown you a little bit our website. It's interactive. You can use the price hubble tool, the lead fisher. You get a proper valuation. We have the purchase price maps for Berlin divided between Altbau and new build. We will do this until the rent ceiling has been, well, even taken off the book or has been overturned or not. We don't know. But until then, you can use our price maps to get a better feeling what you get for your money, and if you're not really safe, if that what you're buying is a good price, please feel free to contact us. Have a nice evening. Thank you for watching tonight.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.